bringing Nigeria to about 24th positions down now. With this, despite fundamental economic and political imbalances in Africa generally, let's begin with that, tourism continues to grow. What would you say is responsible for this?
Well, as you can see that tourism is as beyond all issues and matters that affect nations worldwide. Tourism will grow because it's the constant movement of people around the world and constant building relationship and having business and pleasure relationship around the world. So you expect tourism to still grow. If you look at, I think from 1960 to 2000, it was about 360 million travelers, and it's about 1.2 million now, which where the projection is saying by 2030 is going to rise to about 1.8 billion.
Exactly, there's going to be an upsurge.
So you should expect a change with this development.
All right, with this, I have also another report talking about community-led tourism projects. Already, we have Airbnb announcing a $1 million investment in that regard. Now, let's talk about community-led tourism. Many tourist hosts do not go in that direction, where we see locals not enjoying the profits of these investments. Now, I know you're planning a kind of tourism exercise anytime from now. What's your plan to actually go into community-led tourism?
Okay, quickly, you look at, in this part of the world, Africa in general, you look at tourism, it's still growing and it's changing the economy gradually. And focusing on Nigeria now, it's, we have almost a virgin, it's almost a virgin land for us, and it's very important for us to look into tourism, especially with the happenings in the oil sector now. Tourism is the next thing that will boom the nation's economy, looking at the fact that we are blessed with so many tourist opportunities and around Nigeria, talking from destinations to cultural tourism and to religious tourism and so many other opportunities that exist. And this is why we must take a critical look and focus on how to develop our communities, because tourism, most of these tourism destinations exist in the local communities, but we must learn to marry the two together to make it profitable to both the investors and the community that is affected, that has these benefits. So, well, the program we are looking at is called Nigerian Tourism Development Advantage. Is majorly targeted towards tourism development, taking a critical look at tourism from the angle of government and entrepreneurs and opportunities that exist. You can talk tourism, it's bringing together of little business together to form one. And if you look at SMEs, and Nigeria can do very well in that area. We've got
I'm actually glad you're talking about that, because the last NESG focused on localization, looking at the opportunities therein. And with tourism, of course, we're looking at also developing the youth. And if the latest report we have is that millennials seem to be looking for real, authentic experiences. And data shows that we have 50%, 56% of travelers, millennial travelers, going into tourism now, which suggests that there is going to be a huge destination market for youths. How do you plan to tap into millennials? Okay, basically,
millennials, you know them for who they are. They are very inquisitive. They want to know more about places. We have a lot of, let's take it from destination in Nigeria now, which it's in thing for us. It's a major part. We have so many. I think hardly can you see a state in Nigeria that doesn't have one destination or the other to market. And you say what I think we lack majorly are DMCs and promoters. Government is going to do one part in the area of infrastructural development and security, which is very key. And this we expect other millennials in Nigeria to invest in tourism in the area of learning about the business and taking a part of the business. We already have a lot of people doing destination trying to do some market some destinations in Nigeria already, and it's fast growing. We were with some of them in Abeokuta recently, in Olumorok, where we had to talk to some of these marketers of selling destinations in Nigeria, and it's a market that is going to blow very soon. You still have space in tourism development in the area of transportation. Look at the whole of Lagos State at the moment. I think you can see maybe one or two or none at all of what do you call it now? Tour buses around. Tour buses alone is a business in tourism. You don't have to, you look for big people that want to market cultural tourism.
Okay, there seems to be a lot that would be made from tourism. Before I let you go, Femi, yeah, Nigeria is yet to make so much revenue from tourism. I know you told me earlier that all over the world about, I can't figure it out now, but it's in trillions that is made in tourism, and yet Nigeria is just making about $1 million from that. That's still too very small.
Absolutely.
Very briefly, how much or how do you think we can actually tap into making much more in that amount?
Yes, it's very important for us to look into tourism because, one, we have to educate each other. Media has a lot of role to play because one thing that I think is giving us bad name in the world so now is the place of media. What positive comments are we passing about our nation, Nigeria, that will attract people to want to come? And the other side of it, we need more investors in the area of tourism. In the area of tourism, you have to educate your youth on what place do you want to, what role do you want to play? Do you want to do transportation? Do you want to do destination management? Like, we have a whole lot of this destination with the state government, and most of them are not doing anything with it. And that's the sad part of it. But we are telling the government that, okay, no problem, you can't do anything. Like, why not give some of those destinations out to people to manage? So you go and sit down with the development of infrastructure and policies and take care of security. When those things are taken care of, then the people that in your state can manage those destinations that you have. Then we raise DMCs that can move people into those destinations. And before we know it, tourism would get us to that place that we don't think we can get
manage
to.
The destinations.
Exactly.
Maybe the locals could even be brought in that area and make their profit out of it.
Absolutely. There is something else we are doing. Part of the conference is going to involve the traditional rulers, because you need to educate them on what they have. Nigeria is one of the leading countries in cultural tourism. I hope you know that. We are blessed with so many things. So all those things can help us solve the problem of unemployment and the problem. How can we have different destinations? Look at the Toku markets in Ogun State, for example. In Abeokuta, you have that people with above, maybe if you go there, you see most of the elderly people working, doing that business. They are probably doing that business to keep themselves alive. But in this community, we still have youth that are looking for jobs that have nothing to do, which we can develop them.
All right, we look forward to your program and getting so much more out of it, especially for the entrepreneurs. Femi Lawson,
Thank you
tourism expert, thank you for your time.
Thank you
on Business Tonight.
Thank you.